Welcome to Last Time Online. This episode is brought to you by Dogma Games, my very own game studio. I'm currently working on my first game called Wake Out of Twilight. Wake Out of Twilight is a 2D platformer game based in a futuristic dystopia where nearly all parts of life are automated. Life couldn't get any easier, but the price to pay was more than anybody agreed to. Navigate through traps, obstacles, and puzzles in order to save everybody from the nightmare. If you would like to be the first to know when I have updates or when the game is releasing, you can go to Steam and wishlist the game. Now, let's get on with the episode. What's up, gamers? Welcome to Last Time Online. This is the Nerdy Podcast Online, where we talk about the nerdy things. I'm the host. I'm George, and today our squad is Max.
Greetings.
Jonathan. We didn't hear you, Jonathan, but Jonathan is there. And then we have Justin.
Can't walk, Jonathan.
And then Alvaro.
Wakanda forever.
Wakanda forever. And then we like to start this podcast off by talking about the things that we've done over the past week to kind of catch up. And I usually start. And what I had done in the last week was I started playing Watch Dogs 2 because I heard it was a good game. I just never gave it a chance. I haven't gotten too deep into it. I don't know if I'm a fan of the gameplay so far, but I kind of like the open worldiness. There's some things I like about it. There's some things I don't right now. I don't know. I'm not sure if I've given the gameplay enough chance, but basically I'm gonna stick with it because it's an area that's local to me. So I'm gonna go try to find out. We're gonna go see if I can find out if I could stroll up my hood and I don't know, gank my house or something. And then I continued to play Batman Arkham Knight. Sort of in preparation for the Arkham Knights game that's coming out soon because I'm excited for that one. I have a bigger opinion about that game now. First of all, I think you guys mentioned previously that if I'm tired of the Batmobile stuff, and actually I'm not. I don't hate it as much. I do realize it's really clunky, but I actually spent some time doing the Riddler stuff, and they're kind of like car puzzles. And those are actually pretty fun to me, so I like that. Also, in the Riddler puzzle, the game broke on me because it had me trying to solve a problem, like a puzzle, and I was pretty sure that I figured it out. And I was pretty much doing exactly what I thought I should have been doing. And I ended up giving up on it, and I continued. I was like, God damn it, let me go check YouTube. YouTube basically instructions did exactly what I did, and I'm pretty sure the game was broken. So that upset me a little bit. But overall, I think the gameplay of that game it's a super old game. I'm giving a review on a super old game, but anyway, I do give it props on the storytelling of the game. I don't think the story itself or the gameplay is too exciting, but I do like the storytelling. It's you're playing and then instead of just cutting you into a cutscene, the Joker's there, kind of setting the mood, or a call will come up and you're still moving around in the city and stuff, right? But it's telling story and you're kind of still immersed in everything, I think it's kind of cool. So I think that's kind of the best part when it comes to that game. Other than that, I've been working on the last details of my video game that I'm building, Wake Out of Twilight. Link in the description for the demo and everything like that. But I will be trying to stream over the weekend, if anybody was interested. Here and any viewers too. I want to try to get the last feature that I'm trying to put in, and I believe I can finish it over the stream. So it's going to be a how-to, kind of how I design and develop the game, and also a Q&A, ask me anything kind of thing. So that's all I've been doing over the last week, and yeah,
When's your stream?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I should have said that. It's I'm planning on doing it 1:30 on Sunday. I think that was the time I was able to fit it in, but yeah, that's when I want to do it. And I'm sorry I sort of gave a review for a 7-year-old game, but that's that's what I did though.
It's never too late.
Yeah, I feel like I should have played it. It's my PlayStation handle is Arkham's Jester, and I've never played Arkham Knight, so I was like, what am I doing up here? I'm a fraud. I'm a wannabe poser.
Well, you played the other two though, right?
Nope.
No?
have not.
This is the first one you jumped into?
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
You should have gone. You should have gone the
order.
first two.
Gotta go
Yeah.
in order.
I don't know.
I would even throw Origins in there too.
Cause I think that this game that I'm playing right now already feels like sort of dated. So like I wonder. I'll give it a shot. Like after I beat this one, I don't think I'm even close to finishing this one. Actually, I played for hours now, and it seems like it's a pretty long game. But
I think you'd be able to appreciate the storytelling in the first two games, though.
Yeah, the
Okay.
first two are very, very good.
okay, I will follow your recommendations then after I finish this
Play
Arkham Knight
them
one.
backwards.
Yeah, I'll play them backwards. It's gonna be like a memento.
Christopher
Yes.
Nolan would be proud.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, we'll move on to Max next.
For me, let's go. Where's my list? I went to see the Jordan Peele's wonderful film Nope, and it was pretty great. A lot of people don't seem to like it. That's because they're not understanding it, because people are stupid. But it was very good, and he's very good at crafting suspenseful sequences.
Mhm.
There's a sequence, without too many spoilers, that takes place solely inside of a vehicle that I thought was perfect. So he has that. He's a great director at that, and he's also able to put in humor, but it doesn't feel like the humor is forced into his movies, which I think is a very hard thing to do. So yeah, I highly recommend it. From the turnout at my theater, you might want to watch it soon because it probably won't be there much longer, unfortunately. To make Alvaro happy, I finally finished the final season of Ozark. I really liked it, and like Nope, I also expected a lot of people to hate that the ending, because it. I won't say anything about the ending, but I liked it. I liked how it ended, but I could tell as soon as it was over that a lot of people probably hated it. So I did some Google searches on the internet, and what a shocker, people hated it because people need everything spoon fed to them apparently. Then I haven't said anything about it yet, but I've been slowly making my way through another rewatch of The Wire. And I will say that I hate to have boring opinions, but the show's fucking great still. Like, it's also good, and I know like all people do is praise that show, but it totally earns it, and the technology and the seasons of the show are old because it's a lot of pagers and payphones and stuff in there, but like the themes and the storytelling, they're still like perfect. Like it's a great show. Better than The Sopranos, and people consider The Sopranos the best HBO TV show ever, but The Wire is probably up there with me. And last thing this week, I watched the recent season of The Marvelous Miss Maisel, which is a wonderful TV show on Prime. It's a really good period piece, and it is a very funny show, and they have a super solid cast that work really well together. And I kind of watched seasons 1 through 3 before 4 came out, and then season 4 came out. I kind of didn't get around to watching it until this past week. I believe they have one more season, and then the show's over. But if you like some funny, well done period comedy, give it a go. And that was it for my week.
I was gonna make a comment about like your Nope thing where it was like it wasn't like forced comedy. I was gonna be like Ryan Reynolds kind of comedy, where it's just like a one-liner to try to make everyone laugh. But
yeah, like it does have one-liners
nothing against
in
him,
it.
but
No, but I mean it does have one-liners in it, but they're almost like unexpected in the moments of the movie, which make them funnier to me. Like with Ryan Reynolds, you can tell just by looking at it visually that he's about to make a joke.
He's about to, yeah.
He's about to say something to me.
You know what? This is gonna be like it's not a spoiler, but it's like a spoiler of a scene in this movie. I don't know if I should say it, but
I can cut it out if it's too much of a spoiler.
Yeah, if he was, remember, I freaking laughed at this scene where he was in the barn, and those things were messing with him, and then the thing was like hanging from the ceiling, and then he turned over and socked it in the face, and I was like, That's what it's funny because like that's what everyone says that they would do in that situation, and it ends
Yeah.
up being freaking hilarious. So I love
Yeah.
that scene, but
Like that whole sequence was believable to me because
yeah,
even at a moment he pretty much says no, and he tries
yeah,
to remove himself from that situation.
yep,
And if that doesn't work, then you just punch it and hope for the best.
yeah. That was I couldn't believe how much I laughed because
Yeah.
it's like not like forced. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
it's just like reinforced like what you said.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a suspenseful horror movie, but I had the biggest laugh at that scene.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, let's move on. I derailed us. My bad. Let's move on to Justin.
Well, my week this week wasn't as eventful as it was last week. Um, actually, just forgot everything that I was gonna say. But let's see. I actually finished Miss Marvel. I really enjoyed that show. I started Loki, which I know I'm watching things out of order. Um, let's see. I've actually been playing some WoW
Wait.
Classic because they just released the announced date for Wrath of the Lich King, so I'm playing that right now, unfortunately. Um, other than that, I don't really think I did a lot this week. I actually played the Fire Emblem game, the demo, and I'm probably gonna get that game. How dare you shake your head at me? I was looking for a new game to play on my Switch, and I'm like, you know what? Let's try out some demos. I'm probably gonna try the Alive Alive demo, because I hear that game's really great. But I tried the Fire Emblem game. It reminds me of Dynasty Heroes, so I've been just running around slashing the shit out of things, killing them. So that's fun.
What was your highest combo so far?
My highest combo, I don't know. I just barely started, so like, I don't know, like 1,000 or something.
I think I got it. I want to say I got close to 5,000, but I don't think I broke it.
5,000
I was juggling fools.
combo.
There's
Yeah,
a lot of
well, because there's a lot of like peons on the field, and you can just kind of like combo juggle them, and like you're hitting everybody. Only the bosses are the really hard ones to take down. All the little minions running around, you can just pretty much pimp slap them across the map. It's pretty fun.
So basically, he's a Dynasty Warrior. Is that?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah.
I didn't know that.
It's
But
fun.
with powers, because it's Fire Emblem.
Yeah. Oh, I actually watched. I don't know if anybody's seen it. I think it's called Spiderhead. It's like a movie that's on Netflix with Thor and
Oh, I forgot about
Yeah.
that.
I actually saw
Yeah.
that too.
it was an interesting, very interesting movie.
Yeah.
I watched it and I was like, huh. I thought it was a good movie, but it was
Yes.
a little dark, a little different. And I'm just like, honestly, after I watched it, I was like, I could see the government fucking doing something like this. But I'm not gonna get into that part because I don't know if you guys have seen it. I know just George, but
Nope.
it was I would check it out. It's interesting.
I would say
But,
it's Netflix good.
Yeah.
That's a skip, easy skip.
Yeah, that's weird because it has a lot of talent behind it.
Yeah.
I know it's Chris Hemsworth and Miles Teller, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then the dude who directed Top Gun is the director.
I didn't know that.
It's different for sure. Like I didn't know what I expected going into it. Like I think I watched like like when you go through Netflix and it gives you like the first like 15-20 seconds of a show or whatever.
Mhm.
I was just like,
Yeah.
I don't know about this, and I'm just like, all right, let's watch it. And I threw it on while I was making dinner, and I sat there and I watched it, and I was like, all right. But I think that's about it. Nothing much. I think I did more real life activities than games, so that's about it.
All right. All right.
Oh, actually, yeah. I
okay.
played Small World. And I dominated the shit out of everybody. So that's all I'm gonna say.
Small World. Is
Yeah.
that a board game or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
So
okay.
it's like Risk. You pretty much just has a board and you have these troops. Every turn you're supposed to expand your troops and try to get as many points as you can. And me and Emery dominated. So, ha. That's about it.
Okay.
Fuck that game.
All right.
Fuck it.
Jonathan, let's come back to you then.
All right. I watched some anime this week. Pretty much that's all I did.
You did.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. I got through a couple short series that were pretty similar with different tones. And one I forgot to mention last week, so I'll start with that one. Spy Family. I finished that one. That one's really good. Definite recommend. It's the main character. As of the three main characters, is the dad who starts off the whole thing. He's like a world class spy, and he's trying to save the world. And his mission is to create a family, so that way he can infiltrate like a high class society. And he adopts a daughter who happens to be psychic, and the woman that he finds to be his wife is an assassin, and they're just trying to pretend to be a regular family while all three of them are hiding like their secret identities from each other, except the little girl is psychic, so she knows her parents' identity as assassin and spy. But so when she says things, it just kind of they're like, oh, she's really perceptive. But yeah, it's a very charming anime. The other three that I watched were in order: The Greatest Demon Lord Reborn as a Typical Nobody, The World's
These anime
Finest.
names, man.
Yeah, it's so long you can't like you have to like expand it just to get the whole thing. The World's Finest Assassin gets reincarnated in another world as an aristocrat, and then Skeleton Knight in another world. All isekai. Skeleton Knight it's pretty funny. It doesn't take itself too seriously. It's just a dude falls asleep at his computer and wakes up inside the game as his character. And he looks like a paladin, but he can't take off his armor because his avatar is a skeleton, and he's super powerful, and he just wants to like live a casual life, but because he's super powerful, that doesn't happen. The assassin one, the main character is assassin in, I will say, our world, and as he's about to retire, the agency double crosses him and sets up an airplane to crash and kill him, to dispose of him, because they don't need a retired assassin with all their secrets. And a goddess rebirths him with his memories into another world to assassinate the hero, because after he saves the world 3 years later, he's going to destroy it. So he has 18 years from the point of rebirth to train up as an assassin to kill him. That one's really good. That one's darker. And then the other one, Greatest Demon Lord. I don't know if it's technically considered isekai. It's the main character. He's super powerful, and he's like, I'm tired of living this age, so he decides to rebirth himself, like hundreds of years into the future as a regular person. But after his rebirth, or I should say after his passing, the world gets weaker. So even though he before he rebirths himself, he like lowers his power level, he still ends up being really strong because everybody else got super weak. That one is just kind of a fluffy anime, but it was good. And for video games, I played the Live Alive demo, which I did end up getting the game. I just haven't had a chance to play it. I finished the demo a little over 3 hours.
It's a long demo.
I mean, I've spent more time in other demos. The distant future level, I was like, I talked about it, the Captain Quarter game. I kept going back in because I wanted to beat it before I finished, and I only made it to the 5th planet because it's our solar system. So I think I made it to Uranus.
I was gonna.
Okay, Ryan Reynolds.
I know.
Yeah, I made it to Neptune or Uranus before I died, and I'm like, okay, I'll come back to it later, and then I finished that. I really liked each. You only get to play 3, but everything from the story to the gameplay to the objective is different in each character's arc. And this is, I mean, it is still HD 2D game, but it's probably the best looking. I mean, Triangle Strategy just came out earlier this year, and like I said, it looks way better. Yeah. And I think it's just because they really take advantage of how different each setting is, and Triangle Strategy is just like one like medieval thing, so it's kind of samey after a while. But I really had fun, and I look forward to diving more into it now that I actually have the game. I just haven't had the chance to play it. But hopefully, based on how quick I was able to get through some of the stories, I think some of them are going to go faster than others. The Edo period, Edo Japan one seems like it's a long one, but I really like the ancient China Sifu one. That one was really cool.
Is there a theme to that game? Is it like supposed to be like a Cloud Atlas type of thing, or
I don't know. I think
I'll figure it out myself, I guess.
yeah. I mean, it's there doesn't seem to be any connection between the characters, but I won't know that till I finish a chapter. Maybe there might be something at the end that connects them all together, but as of now, they're all just 8 distinctive characters in different settings with different gameplay. I also really like the combat. It's like grid based, and everybody has a timeline or like an energy bar, and you move like this, like 3/4 angle. So
okay.
It's still turn based, but it feels like it's not slow. It feels really fast.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. I work too, and I set up this mic. Apparently not that great.
All right, so let's close out our nerd report with Alvaro then.
Like it was previously mentioned, I also went to go see Nope, and I loved it. It's not really a spoiler, but I would recommend that you watch the Japanese film Akira before you go see it. There are a lot of little not hints, but like little homages to it.
Okay.
One that I really enjoyed. On the opposite end, my curiosity got the best of me, and I watched The Gray Man, which was not great, man. And unfortunately, now it's getting a sequel and a spinoff.
He just has
interesting.
It's all because you watched it.
Yep, I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, I was interested in that movie because the actors seem pretty stacked, but apparently it's not that good, huh?
No, I didn't like it at all.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I mean, that's just me. I can't speak for anybody else. But after seeing like some of the more recent like action movies and stuff, like that one just feels like it feels very by the numbers, almost like by committee or something. It's like for people that the Russos were always touted as being really good with action and stuff, starting with Winter Soldier, but I don't know. I feel like they've lost a step now that they have they went to the farm. They're just sitting on the bench or whatever. So
they used it all in Avengers.
I don't know what that means.
they're on Thanos' porch.
Oh.
Just look at the sunset.
Yeah. No.
They ain't got to worry about shit anymore.
They won.
I sit down and relax and look over the sunset
exactly.
over a grateful universe.
Exactly.
Got it.
Perfectly balanced.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would like to see what other people's reactions are to it, but I mean, I would figure more people would have watched it, considering who's in it.
Mm-hmm.
Captain America and Mysterio going head to head. It's not gonna happen in the movies, so I guess the Russos have to make it happen. Other than that, I did finish what the fuck is it called? Haunting of Hill House.
Yeah.
Which is I I don't know why I kept going because I should have stopped. Um, like if people like Max mentioned last week that it was like, the writing gets like up in up its own ass. Like yeah, it definitely feels that way. Like these characters, like the whole like horror theme doesn't even really fit the characters and stuff. It's just like white people problems around a horror container, I guess. I don't know how else to describe it, but it's like all these like I don't know, whiny ass people being called back to like their childhood home, and like I don't care about any of this.
Are you diversifying your portfolio?
Yeah, exactly. No, but really, like one of them's like a writer, and one of them's like a mortician, and like okay, well, I don't care about any of this. I don't know if I'm gonna do the other ones, man. I already didn't like Doctor Sleep, and this one was just like a pain in the ass to get through. So I don't know if I really want to do that to myself.
Oh, did the same person do Doctor Sleep? Okay.
That's what Max had mentioned.
He did Haunting of Hill House. He did Doctor Sleep. He did the Blind Manor show on Netflix, and he did Midnight Mass.
Oh, because I really want. I think Midnight Mass is gonna be the next one that I start, and Lighthouse.
Alvaro and I are like this on that because I really like his stuff, but I do admit that some of his writing does get kind of lengthy. Like I think he just likes to hear people say what he writes sometimes.
Yeah.
So like, because there is one monologue in Midnight Mass that I think lasted 10 minutes.
Oh God.
And yeah, like overall, I really liked that show a lot. Like I thought that the horror stuff was done well. But if you're not gonna like his writing and like the types of characters that he does, I'd probably say, well, don't bother.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. I mean, I would like to see it, but after watching that, I'm cautious. There's like a scene where like they're like cleaning up like a kitchen or something, and then like out of nowhere, some woman just goes, "My dad died," and then she's just like.
Poggers.
And then she just keeps going. She just keeps going. Like, what the fuck? Like, this was not prompted or anything. Like,
Sag.
No one wants to hear about this. I don't know why. I don't know. Anyway, I started Final Fantasy 12, the Zodiac Age, thanks to PlayStation Plus Premium Platinum preferred members. I'm only like a few hours in, but it's pretty cool. Like, it's very much like a Final Fantasy Tactics in 3D. Like they used a lot of little artwork and stuff from that game. Like a lot of the job system is back, so you can pick you be like a shinobi or like a sharpshooter and stuff like that. And of course, like every job is based on the zodiac, so of course I went with mine, which is Aquarius. But again, I'm not very far in, so I'm curious to see like how the combat develops and stuff. Like I mean, and one of the benefits of this version is that you can play at a hyper speed. So like I have my movement set at 16 times. So like I'm just running around super quick. Yes, I mean I don't know. I'm not very far, I'm sure, but it feels like I'm getting to it quickly. But I've only played it for like 6 hours total. But I don't know how much that would have been had I been like normal movement.
What's the class based on your on Aquarius?
I think it's like a knife, like a Bushido or something like that. So they're like a blade master.
Wait, how does that relate to the zodiac sign?
Like it doesn't, but it's just like they just set jobs to each zodiac sign.
Oh,
so
they just
like
it's just like they just
like a Gemini's an archer, or
okay.
or like a Capricorn is like the mage and stuff like that. So it's like every single one has its own title.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I would have thought like an Aquarius would have been like a healer, because isn't Aquarius supposed to be like the water
I mean,
lady
that's
or something?
the thing. Like every character you can choose what you want them to be. So.
Oh, okay,
like,
okay.
I'm pretty sure later on I could also change jobs. Like I'm not like stuck to one type of title or anything like that. So, but we'll see how it develops. Other than that, I did because I got tired of the writing in Haunting of Hill House. I had to watch something with better writing, which is the Harley Quinn show on HBO.
Oh, let's go.
And it's very, very good. And the third season third season starts Thursday, tomorrow. So I'm very excited for that. That will probably be my weekend activity.
It
That's
starts
about it.
tomorrow?
I need to finish season
Pretty
2.
sure it starts this week.
Really? Should have add that
Yeah.
to my to-do list.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
I
a
did
great.
watch
That's
the-
a great show. That's a great show.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's very, very good. And it still holds up. Like there's some of the jokes like I've heard like 10 times already, but like they get me every time.
Bane and undersized chairs will make me laugh forever.
All right. Was that the was that all?
That's it. That's my week.
Okay. Well, speaking of Harley Quinn and DC, the Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con has been happening over the last week and it's continuing to happen. But there's been a few things that have been announced that that I mean, I'm sure this is interesting to us in different ways. But since you said Harley Quinn already, we can kind of talk about like the Marvel versus DC thing, right? DC basically just showed Black Adam and Shazam, which I don't know if that's anyone here's favorite stuff from DC. I like the first Shazam. The second one doesn't look so interesting. And Black Adam looks like it's going to be entertaining, but is it going to be good? I'm skeptical. But yeah, how do you guys feel about like? Well, I guess we can just get over the DC stuff really fast. Like, are you guys interested in the DC stuff that they're showing?
Like,
Yeah, I'll watch both.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. Yeah.
like I love The Rock, but I think Black Adam looks borderline terrible.
You should have just done Fast and the Furious.
Yeah.
That never stopped anybody from watching The Rock's movies.
No, but it cracks me up because I feel like DC did their little panel because they went in the morning,
Mhm.
Yeah.
like early in
Yeah.
the morning, and I feel like they're like, we have this trailer, mic drop, we're out,
Yeah.
and then
Right. And then everyone in
Yeah.
the audience is all
Any
silent.
questions?
yeah,
Any questions?
Like, that was it? What the hell?
like The Rock was there. I think he was dressed in costume,
Yep, he was in costume.
and
He had a whole intro and everything.
of course he did.
He's the most
Yeah.
electrifying man of all of entertainment. Why wouldn't he?
But yeah, like
he is a
as-
showman.
yeah, as they did their little mic drop, I just imagine the Marvel people just like laughing hysterically.
You know, the thing about that movie is it's gonna do really well because
It will.
of how many people, because of how much they've spent on marketing, right? Like he had like a whole monologue during the Summer Games Fest, and I was like, what the heck? He's just like in the gym talking to his cell phone. And I was like, what is it?
Yeah.
He was selling his tequila and his energy.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah. Maybe you can combine them, see what happens.
I
Maybe
know.
He'll be Black Adam.
I know, man. Yeah, that's gonna be like The Rock's job pretty soon, huh? He's just gonna be like the producer.
I
Of
think he's pretty much.
these things.
I think he's pretty much just like a salesman of stuff at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like you already said it, but he like they had a booth at Comic-Con that had his tequila or not tequila that had his energy drink, and they were just promoting the shit out of
Zoa.
Wake Up.
They were probably
Yeah.
giving away that shit for free.
Oh,
Yeah,
that would have been
probably.
sick.
If only compared to W Energy,
Hey.
It's been a while.
Which doesn't give you jitters.
it does not give you jitters, and they don't have to shill at Comic Con for it.
all
It
natural.
sells itself.
I know. Yes. Speaking of the gamer energy drinks too, like I think G Fuel had like a I don't know if people were like speaking out about like how like toxic their workforce is and stuff too.
Everybody's
Besides
toxic
the point.
everywhere.
Yeah, but I mean, W isn't toxic. At least not their workforce, and also not the powder either.
Not to us.
Yeah,
we need to cut that out.
But yeah, I was curious how their panel went because I think it went for an hour and all they had was 2 trailers. Like I don't really know like what their people like rambled on and on about for an
Probably
hour.
just like let them ask questions, but nobody was allowed to talk about Ezra Miller or
Why would anyone even ask that though?
Yeah.
I wouldn't give a fuck about that guy.
Why
fun.
wouldn't? Why
For fun.
wouldn't? Like, come on, man. Like,
No,
For-
I'm not there
for
to
sh-
ask Matt Smith.
Yeah.
It's Morbin time. Like that's
Yeah.
not what I'm there.
on Twitter maybe,
that's
but
Marvel.
on Twitter maybe, but not
That's a Sony.
No, but I mean like out of Black Adam, Shazam, and then Aquaman and the Flash. Like to me, Aquaman and the Flash are the more interesting of the 4. So in that sense, like I would imagine someone might have a question like when are we gonna see something from Aquaman at least? But
Yeah, I'm surprised
yeah,
that wasn't there. That's
yeah,
a real big omission.
all because someone was in a lawsuit with the
and they have to-
beloved Johnny Depp.
You have to do some editing magic to take a certain person out of the movie.
I could have shown a poster or
There was
anything.
a
Damn.
lot of editing.
Yeah.
They could have fucking just ran Michael Keaton out there because he's gonna be in the Flash as Batman, but they probably wouldn't want him to be harassed with questions.
I wait for after the movie comes out, like people will be calling for the Amber Heard cut.
Oh gosh, no,
No.
nobody's gonna be asking
No,
for
they
that. Nobody's gonna ask for that.
I want the version where she's the main character. I barely want to look at Aquaman.
Well,
I don't know if you guys kind of seen the video that Jonathan posted. It was the Wreck-It Ralph one. Jonathan showed me the other day.
Yeah,
It's the one with the bunnies.
the feeding the pancakes.
Yeah, feeding the pancakes.
oh yeah.
That best described
That
pretty much
shit made
what
me hell.
between Marvel and DC because it just kept feeding all the Marvel stuff. So it was pretty great.
Yeah, I actually imagine George is the one getting the Marvel stuff because he's kind of tired of it all and just them shoving more Marvel stuff.
Dude,
into him.
I was gonna make that comment but I didn't know if anybody was gonna back me up though because like I mean on one hand like the one bunny's starving because he gets 2 pancakes and on the other hand this person this he's like he's miserable because he's overfed. He's fat with pancakes, right? They both look miserable. I'm like I don't think anybody pointed that out and I was gonna point it out but I was like I don't know if they're gonna agree with me. So
it's pretty accurate. But that scene, no matter what, I fucking crack up every time.
yeah.
The only part of that scene that makes me laugh is the very last bit of pancake. The very last bit.
And the little girl that screams at the end.
Yeah.
It's so unexpected.
But yeah, I mean that's pretty much what happened at Comic-Con. That could be the quick version.
There was like some cool little stuff that was announced.
I think so I was gonna say I think this could be a good segue into like just the Marvel stuff, but I think we can like probably carry that to the end of the episode. So do you want to get the other stuff out of the way first before we get into the Marvel stuff? I mean I'll just point out like I watched 3 of them that were interesting to me. Pretty much the ones that you guys linked to me. Just the Dungeons and Dragons one, the Rings of Power, and the House of Dragons. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
I mean. House of Dragons looked okay, but I'm gonna watch it anyway, because I like. I mean, I didn't like the ending of the Game of Thrones show, but I liked the show overall, and I'm gonna watch anything Lord of the Rings anyway, so they don't have to convince me. But the Dungeons and Dragons one did look like a fun movie, so I have high hopes for that one too. Those are the 3 I'm done for the other stuff. What did you guys see that you guys liked?
Jonathan, you went out again.
Yeah, you're gone.
Well, while he fixes his stuff, Alvaro, according to Google, Harley Quinn's just gonna have the first 3 episodes, then it goes weekly after that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
yeah, you'll have
I can still
plenty.
catch up then.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
You're
I have
back.
the quick fix. I was gonna ask, are you guys actually excited for that Lord of the Rings show? Because
I am.
There's a lot of disinterest.
What?
Seen.
The internet?
So
Yeah.
yeah. So
not like straight hate, just like no one cares.
I'll admit that it doesn't look that interesting from the trailer, but I'm very much a fan of Middle Earth. So like that's probably even though that might be like maybe the weakest trailer that I've seen, I'm the most interested in that still.
And I'm waiting for the show, so I didn't watch the Comic-Con trailer. I saw the previous trailer that they did like 2 weeks ago.
Mhm.
So I liked what I saw from that. So that and the House of the Dragon, I just want to wait till I watch it. I don't need to see anymore to convince me
Yeah,
to,
exactly.
to at least give it a shot.
Yeah.
So
So basically, these things are just like layouts for us. Like we're already in
yeah,
the
pretty much.
yeah.
Yeah.
I just need to see that it looks like it is that semi-competently done to at least give me some interest in it. So I'm hoping they're both great. That's what I'm hoping for.
Which one are you looking forward to the most? You have to choose.
Probably the House of the Dragons a little more, just because Lord of the Rings has already been prequelized,
Yeah.
and those were I liked the first two Hobbit movies. And if you asked me to tell you anything that happens in the third one, I could not tell you. Other than there's gold and he's obsessed with
Oh.
gold and the cave. But other than that, I don't remember anything else from that third movie. But
So the third one's
yeah,
just like Austin Powers.
yeah, I'd rather watch Austin Powers. I think at least remember. I at least remember what happens in the third.
I mean,
Austin Powers.
it does. You do have a point. It has Beyonce.
Guys.
But
Oh,
yeah, I am looking forward to the
What about
show.
National Treasure?
I haven't seen anything for National Treasure.
Nope, I haven't seen anything yet. I know it exists.
That's
Yeah.
another one people are mad about.
I know it's a thing, and I know Nicolas Cage is not supposed to be in it, but the other dude's supposed to be in it though. I forget his
Yeah.
name.
It's not supposed to be a sequel. It's just supposed to take place in the same universe, I guess.
But how many times are they going to steal the Declaration of Independence?
As many times
Or
as it
what are they
takes.
trying to steal in this one?
I have no clue.
Oh,
I'll probably still watch it though because I like National Treasure.
Is it a movie
Yeah.
or is it a show?
It's
the
a show.
It's a show.
Huh. Interesting.
Everything is a show now.
Yeah.
Makes more money. It draws in subscriptions, and that's valuable nowadays.
Yeah, well, if you drag it out weekly, and if they like the show, then they're gonna have to be subscribers for 8 weeks or whatever.
To the D&D fans in here, what did you guys think of the Dungeons and Dragons trailer?
It can't be worse than the first movie.
Wait, what first movie? Was there a first movie?
There's an original. Yeah, there's a movie a
Yeah,
long
there's
time
an
ago.
original movie.
Oh, okay.
Jeremy Irons and Marlon Wayans finally together as a duo.
Dynamic duo. Yep.
Yeah.
I think it looked interesting. I think them casting, what's his name, the guy from Star Trek as a bard is gonna be pretty entertaining.
Yeah.
So
It's funny because he looks just like visually he looks just like the bard from The Witcher. So it's like, yeah, he's a bard. He's got the bard look apparently.
Yeah.
yeah, so I think it'll be entertaining. I think it'll be kind of like the Warcraft movie was. It was interesting if like you like that. It was good if you like that kind of stuff, and it's just interesting if you don't. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you're telling me I'm gonna want immediate sequels?
Sure, why not? I don't know how you're gonna do sequels, even though D&D has a vast universe, because there's like no infinite story. Like you could make up your own story. So like,
Well, that's the cool thing about it is they can do any type of movie that they want.
this is true, and that's. I mean, I guess
Yeah, I'm assuming there would be no storyline that they would really have to follow if like each movie was like a different game session or something. I don't know.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the good thing about D&D though. Like if you do it right, you can tell any story you want,
Mm-hmm.
and it could be really fun. It doesn't have to be like dark and gritty. And I think they choose the right tone.
Yeah.
For it.
I would imagine that Dungeons and Dragons is like a hard thing to make any type of content on it besides just like the tabletop that it is, right? Because
even the tabletop this still gets a fair amount of flack.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was just going to say because like Dungeons and Dragons to some people is just like the perfect RPG game, right? To the point where like people pretty much just try to recreate it in video games, which should be, I don't know. In theory, it seems like it would be easy to, make a digital game over a tabletop game, but it seems like it's never been able to happen. Even with like Dungeons and Dragons games, like they kind of have to like water it down to like make it very specific, and maybe the same issue happens. Could probably be even worse over movie, because like what makes it D&D is just like, I guess the monsters the monsters in the classes, I guess, and that's what makes it D&D when you just bring it over to a movie.
I'm wondering how they're gonna handle like the spells and stuff. Like, obviously, there's got to be a fireball somewhere in there because like it's not D&D unless someone has fireball. But I think I think it has like a good shot of being like a good movie. I know there was like some semantic argument about like uh the actress that plays the druid, she does a wild shape into an owl bear,
Albert, yeah.
and owl bears are not technically beasts, so they wouldn't be able to do that in the game. But
Oh
everybody's
no, it started
every-
already.
they're like, oh yeah, they're technically not allowed to do that, but everybody's like, you know what? It's still really cool, so we're just gonna let it go.
Everyone's already
We'll
like,
just say it's like
actually,
it's homebrew. The
Yeah.
the most controversy I actually seen wasn't actual like from nerds complaining. I guess the poster that they made that has it's like it says D&D and it has like all the monsters and the what's the symbol? What's it called?
I don't know.
The
I don't
and
know.
part.
But now the movie sounds like shit, and I'm not watching it.
There's a monster in there that's called Intellect Devourer, which is pretty much a brain with legs, and it does what its name implies. It attacks the user's brain and it eats their brain and actually goes inside their head and controls their body. But the image that they used for the poster, whoever Wizards of the Coast hired, they use the picture that's in the Pathfinder, because Pathfinder
Oh,
is very similar, has a lot of the same monsters and stuff, just different versions. So whoever they hired Googled Intellect Devourer and pulled an image from Pathfinder, didn't notice the difference, and used that for the
Yeah.
poster, and people are like, oh.
and for the people that don't know, I barely know this, but Pathfinder is like a totally separate game.
Yeah.
It's,
I actually wish that I did not learn any of that just now.
It's funny though, because like I rewatched the trailer like recently, and like how that starts off the trailer is like any other D&D like campaign. You're a bunch of mercenaries, or you're a bunch of thieves who are trying to, like get money. So I was like, it has hope, I guess, because that's how usually most D&D campaigns are. So you're either like a band of groups who do something, and usually those people they just do bad things half the time, unless.
George, I think with this movie, you and I can now go into them like they watch Star Wars.
Yeah.
We can be very entertained by the movie while they're like, that class is not supposed to be able to do that. I hate this movie.
See, I kind of said that same thing with when I watched the Vox Machina, like, because there's things in that show where they cast spells, and I was like, you can't really do that, but I still thought it was cool anyways, because just the storytelling in that show is just really good. I don't know if anybody's seen it. I know Jonathan's watched or listened to Critical Role, but like they'll I mean, I won't be too harsh because I don't really care, but I'll still watch it.
I think
I can't wait till my screening someone stands up in the middle of the movie and says they're not supposed to be able to do that, and they throw their soda at the screen.
I almost think I'm getting this idea in my head right now, but I almost think it would be like a better movie if they made fun of, if they were like meta about the game, right? And like I want to see I don't know the actor's name, but the bard character
can do that.
Yeah, I want to see the bard go into a bar and try to seduce somebody, right? And they roll a 1. Like I want to see the visual on the screen, like of a D20 rolling, and then it comes up 1,
like a
and then
Scott Pilgrim-esque.
and then
Well,
he gives this
like-
terrible ass pickup line. And he gets like wide thrown in his face or something. It would be funnier if it was meta.
Yeah, because I had seen the trailer when I was with Alvaro, I watched it on my phone, and when I mentioned it to him, he asked me if it was going to be something like Jumanji, and I think that would be an interesting thing where you have people in real life actually rolling the dice and saying what's going to happen, and then you watch those actors do that. Yeah,
That would be cool.
Yeah. I thought that would probably make a better D&D themed movie, D&D branded movie, because
I think it's gonna be good.
but at the same time, maybe that's what they do, and they just haven't shown that part yet.
because Tiny Tina's Wonderland kind of plays with that idea where it's like meta, right? So I think that was like
Yeah.
that was almost a better representation of D&D than like an actual like other role playing game. That's trying to be D&D.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, anyone
'cause
that plays
it's like-
D&D should definitely play Wonderlands. It's very much
all the
in that-
D&D video games are like super dark and gritty. There's like there's no fun in it, and I think That's probably why I'm probably gonna really enjoy this movie because it's not taking itself seriously at all.
Yeah.
Definitely goes by the rule of cool as far as how shit's probably gonna work, which that's what makes the game fun. Is
Mhm.
sometimes you homebrew stuff, you let players do things because it's cool, and maybe that's not how the mechanics are technically supposed to work, but it's fun trumps over numbers.
Style over
I think.
stats.
Yeah, exactly.
I learned that from Tiny Tina. Style over stats. Okay. Well, we talked about D&D for the Dungeons and Dragons movie longer than I thought we were, but let's get to the Marvel because they just dumped a whole phase on us over the
It was a
weekend.
lot.
Yeah. So what do you guys think? There's a lot to talk about, but I guess uh,
Real,
we can
Let's
pick out
just
the
go
ones
down
that
the
are interesting.
timeline.
well, real quick, I'm surprised nobody mentioned John Wick, but
Oh, right.
Berserk. Oh, actual John
Oh,
Wick.
the John Wick trailer.
Berserk.
yeah,
No, yeah, because he's actually has an anime. Is an anime? Yeah.
Yeah, he does have an
It was a
anime coming out.
graphic novel that they're making into an anime called Berserker.
Wait, was it? I don't think they're
Berserker?
related though. That's what
No,
I
no,
asked
it's
in the
not.
chat.
No,
Yeah.
He
Okay.
has his own. Berserker is the graphic novel that he
Yeah.
kickstarted, and he's making it into an anime.
He kickstarted
And
that?
it's like that big. It's like fucking thick.
I didn't know that. Okay, that's new
Yeah,
to me.
it was like last year, I think. It was very popular.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, so about this Marvel stuff. Um. So I mean, I'm looking at a picture of what they call Phase 5, but Phase 4 technically isn't over yet. So, what did they have for Phase 4 uh, left? I think it's just Wakanda Forever, the Black Panther.
Sadness
Sadness,
And
yeah. But they did
She-Hulk.
release a
Tears.
trailer for that, and She-Hulk.
for tears.
Yeah. So are we interested in those movies or and then
Yeah,
show
I mean, I'm gonna watch them.
before?
Are we interested?
Yeah.
I don't think I have
Level
anything
five.
extended to say.
Yeah, all I said, I think I threw it in our little chat here when I watched it, but I think that Black Panther trailer was fucking beautiful.
Mhm.
All of it, all
People,
of it.
there's BioShock tears filling the theater.
The music through it, the way they put it together, like the visuals. I think it all looks great, and I'm certain that in every screening, at least 80% of the theater is going to be crying through like that whole movie.
Yeah,
I will be one of them. I'll probably
I'm
be
really
crying.
curious.
I'll probably be
how they're
crying the
gonna-
IMAX tears.
Did you guys notice? I mean, it's in the Phase 5 thing, but I didn't notice it at first. I think I noticed it after like I kind of watched it a second time. But they show Ironheart in that movie. Riri Williams.
Yep.
Is
That's-
Ironheart a hero?
Yeah,
A new character?
yeah. We talked about it last week, but she's the successor to Iron Man.
Yeah, I was gonna say she's the one doing the Tony Stark banging of the thing,
The
right?
heart.
The metal.
Yeah, yeah. I
Oh.
didn't like. I seen it. I didn't register in my brain the first time, and then I watched it. I was like, hey.
Yeah, but they're starting to get into all the stuff that I don't actually really know a whole lot about. So I'm excited to not look it all up and kind of just. I mean, I'm gonna watch this stuff already, so I might as well just go in blind.
Yeah.
Yep.
that's how I went into Miss
I-
Marvel.
I
I
was
mean, I
like,
knew-
what the hell is Echo?
Well, did you watch Hawkeye?
Yeah, I did. When I looked it up, and then I was like, oh, it's the chick from Hawkeye. Okay.
Oh, is that the deaf one?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. So like I've like was kind of reference to earlier. I'm kind of fat with Marvel stuff right now. So like if any of this stuff had like trailers to them, I didn't really see it except for the Wakanda Forever one. I did see that one. But just looking.
They showed them stuff, but they haven't actually released anything to the
Yeah.
public.
They did. They showed.
They had a
the
Ant-Man
Wakanda
trailer
movie.
that they saw, and they had a Guardians trailer that they showed them, but they are leaving that for as a Comic-Con thing. So they're not, as of now,
They said the Guardians one wasn't ready, right? Because the visual effects weren't 100% done.
because they're overworking the VFX artists.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah. Yeah, these recent movies and recent shows have been very visual effect heavy, like very heavy. Like there's a lot of
Yep.
effects. Like most of the screen is probably CGI in these movies now. uh,
Well, yeah, I haven't watched it yet because I like to watch the behind the scenes stuff. But I saw that they did one of those like Marvel assembled making of for Doctor Strange that they just came out with.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And just from what I've seen, like it's pretty much like them with blue
All
screens
screen.
all over the place,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I I'm slowly starting to lose interest in all of stuff like that.
But it looks cool.
Does it
Yeah.
though?
Can't go
If
to,
I
they can't
does it though?
Yeah.
they can't
Does
go
it
to
though?
space.
Yeah.
No, they don't have to go to space, but no, like did you guys you all saw Black Widow, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a behind the scenes thing of the scene where she's talking with Florence Pugh, the sister, where they're at like the like Cuban bar or Mexican bar.
Mm-hmm.
It's all CG.
Wait, they didn't actually go shoot in a bar.
No, they put a bench there that they sat in with the blue screen in the back.
Wow. I mean, that might be a result of
Laziness.
COVID.
Oh,
No, I know, but no, you're
That
telling me
was
that
COVID.
they can't find both of them to throw them in like a
A
park
room.
or a taco truck that's not open with benches and just film them right there.
yeah.
Like, yeah,
That's
like
fair.
and then like I've seen some stills from the recent Spider-Man,
Yeah.
and like a lot of the like the normal basic shit, like it's just them on a stage and they just edited in like trees in the background.
Yeah. Or if it was COVID and bars were closed down, they probably could have like been nice and like paid a bar owner to use their empty bar.
Yeah, they could have used
Sanitize that
churros.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could have used Staley's.
They're trying
Hey.
to get their money worth from the
That's
blue
it's
screen.
That's how they got the
local
new chairs.
Yeah, that's how they got the new chair.
That's such an inside joke, but we're not gonna get into that.
Classic, very classy establishment.
Yeah.
It is only the best clientele there.
It's a great place to play pocket pool.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
But yeah,
So-
like I just get kind of like they haven't released the making of Miss Marvel, so I like to think that a lot of that stuff was it's like actually shot
On location. Yeah.
on location, or at least in a location that looks like the location they wanted to film in, but just something where it shows that they actually filmed somewhere.
Well, they kind of showed something on the end of the last episode. I don't know if you noticed, like, because I kind of watched the Miss Marvel and I kind of just like let it play because I was like, all right, cool, that was cool, and I left, and then I came back and it was like, oh, and they were talking about the actress, and they like when they kind of
Mhm.
showed some of the things, it looked like they were actually like, not on top of buildings or whatever, but they were
Yeah.
actually places, right? They weren't just
Yeah, like that.
everything was CG.
Yeah, like I don't know if you guys ever saw the Disaster Artist, the James Franco movie about the making of The Room, but like
Yeah.
that dude, they had the famous scene on the rooftop.
Yeah.
I did not hit her. I did not see him. Like they filmed on the roof with the background, and that dude put a blue screen there and edited in the background that was already there onto the blue screen. Like that's like that's pretty much that's what it feels like Marvel is doing with their stuff right now. Like they can go places to film stuff, but I don't know if it's just I can't imagine it's cheaper unless like they're trying to drag out like 300 people out into like a park or something, and it's
Do
just
they own
cheaper
the blue
to
screen.
yeah, it's just cheaper to do it like in a studio. But like all that stuff, like I'm still okay with it, but I can feel myself like starting to get kind of bored with that stuff.
I just don't pay attention to it.
Yeah,
The
being kind of
She-Hulk looks interesting. Kind of.
I think it did.
It's not too meta for you. With the fourth wall breaks.
No,
No.
I'm curious about it. Like a lot of this stuff is like okay, like I'll give it a honest go. I don't know if I'm gonna like all of it, but
Mhm.
I'll get a fair shake. 'Cause
Have you watched Miss Marvel yet?
I haven't watched. I need to watch it.
It's good. It's very good.
That's probably
yeah.
I don't have anything to watch, so I'll probably watch it this week.
I feel like I mean, I don't know if I've said this before, but it seems like Disney/Marvel is going in a direction where they kind of want to make these shows kind of like their new medium for like the bite-sized stuff, like kind of like a modern version of comic books, you know?
Yeah.
Like maybe in the future we're just gonna have like this, you know, crazy amount of like these shows that are like kind of not replacing comic books. I don't think comic books will ever be like replaced truly. But just like if you'll see someone will see a movie someday, you know, and they're gonna be like, oh, I'm just looking at this like new list now, like, oh, I want to know more about this Ironheart person. And someone's gonna be like, there's a show for you. You can go watch Ironheart, and just if you want to just see her, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, I think that'll be something you can do with the Marvels because, like, Captain Marvel is already an established character, but if you don't know, I'm assuming it's going to be her sidekick that's running around with her. I don't really know that storyline, but I know Miss Marvel is going to be in that show. So if someone watches that movie and doesn't really know who that girl is, they can refer back to her TV show.
And what's her name from WandaVision is also.
I think that's
there.
her. That's Rambo. That was her partner, right?
I think her hero name is Mirage or something like that.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I am looking forward. I hope they don't mess it up, but I'm looking forward to Blade because I love well, minus the third movie, but I love Blade as a character.
Yeah.
And I like the movies, but I'm curious, like, if they're gonna try to tame it down with the PG-13.
Yeah.
Or if they're gonna be able to keep it like a mature thing.
Maybe not. I mean, they did add Logan and both Deadpool movies in, and Deadpool is still supposed to be rated R, even though it's not anywhere on the timeline.
But have they thought of the children?
Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not part of the phase. Maybe it's like still separate from the MCU.
Maybe it's gonna just be a separate thing.
Yeah. Possible.
But yeah, like that one, and I am interested in the next Ant-Man movie just because from what it sounds like is that's the one that's going to start the whole arc of everything. That's going to play out in the following 47 projects in the next year and a half.
I feel like before you watch Ant-Man, watch Loki. Before you watch
Loki, I've already seen everything.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, George, you said you hadn't watched Loki yet.
No, I've watched everything except for Miss Marvel.
Someone said they. Oh, was it?
Justin's watching.
I'm watching Loki right now. I'm on like episode 2.
Yeah, that one. I feel like that's gonna also season 2 is. We'll see Ant-Man and then Loki. I don't know if Guardians is really gonna probably connect as much, but I guess we'll see. Like, you could probably see which ones will connect more than others.
All right. Well, Jonathan, try to keep this to at most 2 minutes. What is Thunderbolts?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, okay, that was quick.
Wow, something you don't know.
I know. Because I have no idea what that is.
I think they're like the Young Avengers. I want to say.
It's supposed to be like Teen Titans, kind of.
Okay.
Thunderbolts.
Well, while you look that up, they also announced kind of like a What If season 2.
Yeah.
And I don't know if everybody has seen that, but that show is great. So I was kind of excited for that because I really liked that show, and I looked forward to it every week. But if you haven't seen it, I would go watch it because
So
I like
to keep it brief, the Thunderbolts is pretty much Marvel's Suicide Squad.
So like the villains.
So like the Patriot that we see at the end of Falcon and Winter Soldier. And...
Is that the group that what's her name's putting together?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tina Fey's character.
That's
so it's kind of
Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
No, right? Yeah, I said that
That's not Tina Fey.
Yeah, as soon as I said that, I was like, wait a second.
You've been watching 30 Rock on Peacock, haven't you?
No, but
SNL reruns.
yeah.
Well, speaking of, if you like Julia Louis-Dreyfus, you guys should watch Veep. That's a great show. It's been over for a while, but it's still a great show.
Yeah.
So I thought about it.
Yeah.
That's where we're gonna see Yelena again in the Thunderbolts.
Yep.
So it's her. Okay, so that's who she's thrown together. Oh yeah. So I guess, I mean, I'm sure she's already established in the comic books, but yeah, everyone had the feeling that she was like assembling the anti-Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the
So I'm
Thunderbolts.
assuming. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, they bring that out earlier. That sounds more interesting than Agatha, the
Yeah.
Coven of Chaos.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what, like that one. I'm just curious where they're gonna go with it.
Well, assuming Miss Wanda will return in that, no?
Maybe.
But she's still looking for her children.
No,
Or we'll
she's-
finally get to see Mephisto.
Mm.
We already saw Mephisto. He was the Fly in
was-
WandaVision.
He was
That's
the
what,
rabbit.
that's what the internet told me.
He was the fly and he was the
She was-
rabbit.
she was-
I
she was the
remember.
fly
I
on- she
remember
was the
people
fly-
saying that. Yeah.
Yeah, he was the fly on the curtain in WandaVision.
Yeah.
Confirmed.
I'm really curious about Secret Invasion. I don't know a lot about that plot. But I think that of all the things, Disney Plus would be really good for like the big connecting shows. Instead of trying to fit everything into a short movie like Civil War, just do an actual like 8 or 10 episode thing. And I think
So-
it'll end up it'll have better pacing.
So
And-
I read somewhere that they probably don't want to do that. That they want to keep kind of like new information separate from the movies. Like if a character's in a show, only introduce new stuff for that character in shows, or if a character's from the movies, only introduce like new stuff about that. Not new stuff, but like new characters in the movies. You know what I mean? There can be crossover, but I think what they didn't want to happen was there to be, like, I forgot where I read this from. I think it was about the Captain America show where they said that they didn't want to change too much about Winter Soldier in a show because he's a character established in the movies already. You know, so they wanted like
Yeah.
people that are in track with the movies to kind of be kept up with the
Yeah.
characters already. You know.
Yeah, well, I had
What?
heard that theory from people when I think when WandaVision was out that the shows are gonna kind of be almost like DLC to the series.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you only stuck to the movies, you would still understand the story and what's going on.
Yeah, because I mean, like Falcon being the new Captain America, he had a whole show about that, and he's a movie character, you know. But I mean, it's like supplement, right? Where at the end of the movie at the end of the Infinity War movie or Endgame, like he was Captain America, right? So like it's just extra stuff. But if you skip that whole show, you wouldn't have really missed too much about it, right? Where if they basically said that Winter Soldier is the White Wolf now in the show, in the movies, I mean, they would have been like, what did that happen at? Like, oh, you have to go watch the show. I think they didn't want that to happen, but and I kind of it makes sense to me, but there's no way of actually knowing if that's what Marvel wants. But
I mean, they don't have to. They could still be their own separate things, but it's like you said, it could be like the comics, right? Like when you have there's these big events that span all the comics, and each movie is what that hero is doing during that thing, and then there's just like there's the crossover that kind of like it's still its own thing, but it kind of like there's references back and forth.
mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that they shouldn't still have those big event movies, but I think that it would be cool to do something kind of like that on Disney Plus to give that side more value.
You don't make the money that quick that way, though.
Yeah. The only way I can see if they just completely like, go 100% Disney Plus because the movies aren't producing as much anymore. So they don't have to like market it as much. So maybe they can cut costs there. I don't know.
Yeah, and Max, kind of what you said about Blade, I pretty much have like the same exact thoughts about Daredevil, because I mean I like the show, so I'm interested to see what they're gonna do with that, and I also like the same as you with Blade. Like I hope they don't water it down too much. Which,
Surprised that Daredevil's that as long as it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For a Disney show, that's a lot of episodes.
How many is it? on
18.
Disney? Holy shit, that's a lot.
Yeah, it's like a regular TV show.
But I think
It's-
I think with Daredevil, I think you can get away with like clever editing. Like I think you can get the same amount of like brutality in the fight sequences of like
Yeah.
you like watch this and then you just see the guy go like that a bunch of times, but without showing too much of the blood.
Mhm.
No, I think they could get away with it because it's like it was a lot of like martial arts stuff.
Yeah.
So you
yeah,
can
yeah.
do
Yeah.
bloodless martial arts. So I like
yeah.
Daredevil. I think will be okay. But Blades with vampires, like
I mean,
there needs to be some type of blood, unless they go
Decapitations
the
and shit.
the Spider-Man animated series where they couldn't say blood because it was a cartoon, so they said plasma.
They'll be monsters. So like the vampires won't have red blood. It'll be like blue or yellow or some shit. So they can kind of get away with showing extra.
Yeah, well, like at work, I watched the intro to Thor again when he Christian Bale stabs the king through the throat with the sword.
Mhm.
And he cuts it off. It's just like gold that comes out. So
Yeah.
you get away with that. But I mean, at the same time, like blade wise, like if you watch the movies, once he kills them, they kind of just like turn to like ash.
Mhm.
So they could probably get around too much blood on that
We kind of talked about it last week about like how Miss Marvel you feel like, I mean, I still haven't watched it, but you said it might be like aimed at like a younger demographic, right? And like it's okay to have different stuff aimed at different people, like maybe not everything is going to be for everybody, except maybe like the big event stuff. So like maybe if they're going like that, then we could see Blade as an R and maybe Daredevil as like an M rated, because the Marvel Zombies is animated, but it's supposed to be mature. Like it's not like a T or whatever, the TV 14. It's supposed to be a mature rated show. So if that, even though it is animated, is going to be mature, there you might not be completely out of hope for Daredevil and Blade to be more mature.
Yeah, like I hate to do it because I don't like when Jonathan does it, but I did see a theory on the internet that the Blade movie may be some type of like supernatural crossover, since it has to do with vampires and stuff. So they were saying that there's nothing proven, but they think that that's where Kit Harington's Eternals character
Mhm.
will pop out in, because Blade pops out, or his voice is in his end credit scene, and then also the potential for Moon Knight to pop up in the movie as well, because they all deal with like the supernatural side of Marvel.
See, that's what
That
I'm talking about. That would be so cool to me, because that was what I was talking about, right? Like get like these smaller characters and make like little mini adventure groups or something, right? That would be sick. I would.
Well, isn't there?
I'm on board
There
for
is
that.
one for Blade, right? It's like I don't want to say Dark
That's the storyline that they were saying, that they have like a
yeah.
little comic book series that's Blade.
It's like
Black Knight, is that his name?
Swamp Thing. And
Yeah, Black Knight.
Like a lot of the like the Mummy, like all those monsters, those classic monsters.
Yeah, and it's Moon Knight as well.
That might be where Agatha ties into, because she also is in the supernatural side of Marvel.
Yeah,
Possibly.
I don't normally like theories, but that one was actually interesting sounding to me.
It makes sense, that because they gotta like with the beginning of phase 1, we just had the normal Earth stuff, and then Guardians took us to the space stuff, and so now the only part left is like the mystical stuff, and which I guess you can say started with Doctor Strange, but it's kind of like even more with Blade and Agatha, and like that's the only one we haven't really like seen a lot of yet.
Yeah. Plus, I want to see more Moon Knight. Sorry, Anthony, but I want to see more Moon Knight.
That show was good.
Yeah.
Moon Knight was good.
No, the
Yeah.
show was good, but I just like super dig his look, like his costume. I think it looks awesome.
Yeah.
The one with the suit when he's
Yeah,
Steven.
yeah.
I like
yes,
both of
the
them.
suit.
I like both of them.
No, I like his full on fucking mummy outfit. With I think it looks awesome.
Yeah,
That's
I
the reason
like-
why I
I like-
played him in Ultimate Alliance, because his suit
I
looks
like the
freaking
dapper,
badass.
the
Same.
dapper version.
Yeah,
And
Kind
then-
of.
Like the weak version.
He's not weak. Well, I mean,
No,
he's weaker.
Steven
he's weaker,
is.
yeah, but yeah.
by the end, he's get strong. And you know what? You want to shit on when I bring up theories, but I mean, Phase 6 ends in Secret Wars, and that's what I said was the ongoing theory that
Yeah,
that
I
it was
remember
going
you did
towards.
see.
So.
I remember you did say that. Kind of in the same vein as the supernatural stuff that you were talking about. I saw a tweet where the creator director of I think it's called Armored Wars, actually, something like that. He had to go on Twitter and say that his thing is still happening because they didn't show it at San Diego
Canceled. We're not
Comic-Con.
canceled.
Yeah, we're not canceled. Yeah,
We're not pre-canceled.
yeah.
Don
and that-
Cheadle has a job.
yeah.
Everyone, don't worry.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm just as interested in like what you said as I am in that show, because it seems like exactly what I want to see. I want to see like little like ragtag like groups get together, with like similar powers.
Yeah,
So
well,
like
I mean,
handle
you're
Monsters.
yours is a little more factual than mine because the
Well,
actual writer of the show came
no,
out and said that it's
no,
still
but now that
happening.
you've said that, it better
And
happen.
mine is just a internet theory. I mean, I saw it on Twitter, so it has
Yeah.
to be true, right?
This is gonna be like the Jar Jar Binks theory for me. If it doesn't happen, I'm
God.
never gonna let it go. I'm never gonna let it go.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed because I said it last week, but I did think that they were gonna at least announce the cast of Fantastic Four, and they didn't do anything other than have a release date.
Mhm.
Well, you should.
Or I don't know, did they have a
one.
release date, or was it just the year?
No,
It's
I don't even
November
think
8th, 2024.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
Damn.
maybe next year. We're probably next year, or they might trickle it out.
Imagine
about
if they had like a mini show with like the big guys in Marvel, like the what's the Fantastic Four dude, the Rock dude? Is it the Thing? The Thing, the Hulk, She-Hulk, big dudes. Yeah, that would be sick too.
That's the name of the show. Big dudes.
Big dudes, yeah. Have
Can't do
them fight a kaiju or something.
Yeah. Hulk smash and clobbering time.
Yep, Hulk smashing clobber in time. I'll see that. I'll watch that too.
I would actually watch that too.
But what about the other Marvel stuff that's not part of Phase? Like we mentioned the Marvel Zombies, and then Spider-Man freshman year, and then X-Men '97. Are you guys?
Are those all TV
excited
shows?
for that?
Yeah, I think so.
Are those all TV shows?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all shows. They're all animated, and
Mm.
Marvel What If is also. Those
Ah.
are the 4 animated shows that they announced.
I mean, I said a little.
Yeah,
I
are
said
those
a little
supposed to
bit
be
of things.
canon or no?
I don't know, because
I know they said Charlie Cox is going to voice Daredevil in the Spider-Man show.
Yeah, I heard that.
it's weird because I think originally it was, but like there's just a bunch of stuff that doesn't. It feels like it doesn't line up with the movies. Like it could be, but it could also be separate. Like
It could also just be part of the multiverse.
It's not really clear.
Yeah,
But-
there's their
but
loophole.
apparently, Spider-Man, like all the movies, borked the whole timeline from the
Mhm.
get-go. So
Well, I mean,
who knows?
X-Men really haven't been introduced yet, so they can do whatever they want with that.
Yeah.
Because if you watch those live-action movies from Fox, like they just throw out that timeline in like the 3rd movie or 4th movie.
Yeah.
Like I'm pretty sure if you try to make sense of all the live-action X-Men movies, it doesn't make sense at all.
Apocalypse is so good.
Yeah, it had Moon Knight.
I know.
Oh, I
Yeah,
forgot. I
yeah.
forgot you told me that. Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
But I there's nobody like excited for the Captain America, or now that Chris Evans is not Captain America anymore. Well,
He hasn't
know.
been Captain America.
I
for
understand
years
that.
now.
I understand that, but so
I'll tell that to the
Actually-
Hollywood Reporter.
I'm excited for the new Captain America movie though, because I think they're the most. Captain America is probably one of the more consistent of the trilogies across all of the MCU. Like
I know what you're saying.
I enjoy all of them.
Yeah.
Can't say the same thing for a lot of the other heroes.
I'm more of a Bucky fan. I really like that kind of interaction between Bucky and Sam Williams or
Yeah.
whoever Falcon is. Yeah.
Wilson.
Sam Wilson.
Sam Wilson.
There, yeah.
Sam on the left, Wilson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I guess
Um,
he would be on the right.
But you know what? I almost, since you're talking about since you actually said who the Thunderbolts are now, I'm wondering if Winter Soldier's actually going to be turning into like one of them now, because it's almost like it's like they had that scene in the Captain America show that kind of set up that maybe he's going to turn back, very very vaguely, but I almost wonder if he will become one of the Thunderbolts too.
I don't think Wakanda is going to take too kindly to that.
He'll just lose his arm. Yeah, that's true. Huh? He's taking a loan on an arm.
He'll heal his arm again. I think that was like the one thing I didn't really care for is like, man, like Winter Soldier's always been like really cool, and they straight neutered him in that show. Like the character interaction between Bucky and Sam are really good, like you said, but just like
that was
really kind of turned him into a whimpering dog a little bit when the Wakanda soldiers just like rolled up.
That's what my gripe was about the show.
Yeah. Yeah. No, go ahead, George.
I was gonna say that was my gripe about the show too, but that's when I heard the theory about like them not wanting to develop characters too much. So I think he has like a development that is like something that's probably going to be needed in the movies. That's what I'm thinking. So that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping they didn't just like forget about it. Just
They can only go so far in the shows before they I don't know, like I think that they're gonna eventually make the shows essential to the movies just because Disney could be assholes like that and force you to subscribe to watch a bunch of shit that you don't want to watch but you have to. But I think like the earlier stuff that might not have been the plan, so they didn't want to do too many different like character arcs or change their motivations as characters during those shows. But I think the further along they go now, I think that they're going to, because I think in the end they're gonna find a way to try and force you to watch everything that they've ever made in order to understand what's happening.
I'm gonna make an effort to see how much I can skip from now on.
we kind of like glazed over the Ant-Man thing, but I was kind of like looking into it, and I just noticed Bill Murray is going to be MODOK in that movie.
Yeah.
Oh, is he?
I didn't know that. That is interesting.
I didn't see the
Oswald
show.
must have been busy.
I didn't see a lot of like the more detailed stuff.
Did Patton Oswalt do the Hulu show?
The
Is that
Hulu
why you
show?
said that?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was such a funny show. Like that sucks that it got canceled.
Not surprised.
Like
It was on.
Nobody watched it.
I did.
I did. They had 2 viewers. Hey, if Jonathan and I could keep Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. on for 8 seasons, I don't know why Hulu couldn't give us 10 episodes of MODOK every year and a half.
Lightning
That was
can't-
pre-Civil War.
can't
pre-
strike a bottle more
Avengers.
than once.
Yeah.
You can,
No,
you
but
can
yeah,
catch it.
but yeah, I do want to see some stuff from Ant-Man, but I'm sure they'll have some stuff soon. I mean, I think it comes out in February.
And
Yeah, it's the beginning of the year, which I'm kind of happy about because Ant-Man's also like probably the more underrated of the superhero movies.
Yeah, because I mean, they don't have anything coming out now till November, right? With Black Panther.
Yeah.
And I'm actually really happy because the first 2 Ant-Man movies were so disconnected from everything else, because like the first one was his introduction and the second one was, oh yeah, this is what we were doing while all the crazy shit was happening in Infinity War. And so now it's going to be like, oh, this is the thing that's starting everything else. So maybe more people will care about Ant-Man this third time around.
Oh, now that you mentioned that, I wonder if that Ghost character from Ant-Man 2 should be around still, right? I wonder if she'll be one of the Thunderbolts too.
Did she survive?
Yeah, she lived.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like, didn't they kind of cure her at the end of the movie?
Yes. Question mark?
Yeah,
I was like, I don't
I
imagine
guess.
you would have.
Well, I
Yeah,
just
but,
remember that. Yeah, I
I
did.
don't
Yeah,
know
I
who
did.
the actor was
Okay.
that was in Ant-Man 2, but he's the character is Goliath in the comic books,
no, I guess. Yeah.
where he like blows up to huge sizes.
Yeah, I still don't remember though. I guess I
What's-
don't remember a lot about that movie. I guess.
I don't.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
ending is kind of muddled, but
I
there
know.
was.
I like the first Ant-Man. The second one was just all right to me. So.
I mean, I
Yeah.
enjoyed it, but yeah, the first one's better.
Yeah, that ghost character. I just remember that she was like in that chamber which stabilized her,
Mm-hmm.
and then.
I thought they took her powers away.
I said that.
Oh, you did. Sorry, I didn't. hear you.
I guess if both of you remember that,
But
it
is
probably
that really
happened.
what happened, or is that what you think you remember you
No,
saw?
If both
Well,
of them
when
brought
you
it up, I
mentioned
think it
the
happened.
little chamber,
Well,
because
because
she was like phasing in and out, right, of existence,
yeah,
and they
because
stabilized her powers.
the mom came back and helped stabilize the powers, and because she lived in the fucking dimension forever.
Mm. Oh yeah, right. I remember that.
Pocket
now.
dimension.
The quantum realm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meow, 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 meow.
You know what I was talking about. Don't matter.
I do. I'm trying to skim the Wikipedia page to find out what happened at the end of Ant-Man.
Oh, we don't have to.
Whatever it has Paul Rudd, it's going to be worth watching.
It's
Yeah.
it's gonna
Yeah.
be good.
It'll be
The-
entertaining.
He's Hollywood's new vampire, or
The,
old
the
vampire.
sexiest man alive.
He doesn't age.
Yeah.
There
Alright.
was because I know most of you guys really like X-Men, but I guess they're bringing back a comic book series, like a short run called Extreme X-Men, and that shit, like, just look at the cover for the first issue.
Mhm.
That shit looks great.
You saying this is a comic?
Yeah, it's a comic. It's a 5-issue series
Okay.
called
Okay.
Extreme X-Men.
All right. Well, any closing thoughts before we close out the episode?
I know we kind of didn't talk about the Avengers because it's. I mean, who knows what the fuck they're gonna
Further
go on
away.
with.
It's a long
Yeah,
ways
it's
away.
like that's in like 2025, but who knows what the timeline's gonna look like with all 700 hours of show and movie that's going on. But
It's hard too, because there's a bunch of shows they still haven't announced yet for that sixth
Yeah.
phase. So
Like I'm pretty sure there's got to be a Shang-Chi too, right? And that director of that first one, he's making that first Avengers movie.
and there's gonna be another Spider-Man, and because this isn't any theory that I've seen. This is my own theory that I think the next Spider-Man they're gonna introduce Miles Morales, like they have to if they're gonna do Secret Wars.
Ooh, I wonder who they get for that.
So there is a particular storyline that kind of fits with the multiverse theme called Spider-Man, and it's when the Ultimate and the 616 were still separate, but Miles Morales crosses over into the regular 616 universe, and like they're fighting together to I didn't read it, but they're fighting together to get him back home and whoever the big bad is. So I think if they're gonna start a new trilogy, they can do that. And if he wants to leave Spider-Man eventually, then Tom Holland, I think that introduce him and have them together for a couple movies, and then they can do the ultimate thing and kill off Peter Parker like they did in the comic books. After
I don't think they'll do that.
And
I'm not gonna kill Peter Parker.
They're not gonna do that.
they've done it. They've already done it. And
In
just
the movie,
In movies?
not in the movies, but they've done
They
it
haven't
in,
done a movie.
in the comics.
Sony's not about it.
They've killed Peter Parker twice. In
Okay,
two
but that's
different
a book.
universes.
That's common. They're not gonna kill their freaking money maker.
No, what they're gonna pass the torch over to Miles Morales and make him the moneymaker, because he is a moneymaker too.
That's a large topic, because there's
Yeah,
a lot of thoughts around
But
that too.
that's,
'Cause,
uh,
yeah, that's a messy one for me. I don't know.
That's my. Of all the things that I said, that Miles Morales is going to get announced in the next Spider-Man movie. I think, if not through the beginning, towards the end of it.
Yeah.
Okay, very quickly, at the end of Ant-Man 2, Ant-Man's mom promises to help figure out what's wrong with her, but they don't actually show anything. So her ending is like up in the air.
Oh. Okay.
And apparently in one of the comic books that they did based off of the movie that no one read, she is part of the snap, so she actually disappears in the Infinity War snap.
Oh.
Rip.
So, take that.
So she'll come back. Or they'll just cut her out because no one cared about it.
Yeah, and then lastly, I know that they try to sound like they're set on these dates, but I don't imagine that they're going to release 2 Avengers movies in 6 months. I don't see that happening.
I mean, it's
I see it happening.
3 years away. They got time.
I don't. I still don't. I still don't like. Even with Infinity War and Endgame, they still had a year apart. Like, I don't know if they want to risk people being sick of Marvel by having 2 massive movies out in the same year.
They don't care.
I know.
They just see dollar signs.
People are
That's
gonna
all that
watch it
matters.
regardless.
We'll see. We will see.
Because
We'll
even
see
if
what
you guys,
the landscape is in 2 years.
Disney
Like,
be
even
like,
the-
cash rules everything around me.
because even though you guys have said you guys are a little tired of Marvel, you're still gonna go watch the movies, right?
No, I'll still watch them, but I'm finding myself enjoying them a little less and less each time. Except for Miss Marvel, which I really did like a lot.
I think my stance is gonna be now like I'm gonna wait for you guys to come back and tell me if I should watch it instead of just watching everyone. Okay, that's gonna be my current stance from now on.
I'm not sick of Marvel. I'm happy.
I don't realize how sick I am of Marvel until like this weekend, like when I go out and see Nope.
You watch
I'm like,
something
man,
else, right?
yeah. Until I watch something else, and I'm like, this
Yeah.
is really freaking refreshing to see some original stuff on the screen. Then I'm like, man, Marvel is taking this away from me.
I think there's also the, like, when COVID and there was no movies coming out, like, all we had was Marvel that year, so that might also add to it a little bit. There really wasn't much coming out at all.
What
even
went
on
last?
the show side?
Wasn't it like last year? It was like every month and a half. It was like a new show, right? So I could see why Marvel has been kind of shoving shit down your throat, and you're like, okay, you feel like the bunny, right? You're stuffed.
Yeah,
But I
that's
get it.
what $8 a month gets you.
Yeah.
Hey.
That's gonna be the thumbnail of this video. Now that I think about
Bunny?
it. Yeah, the bunny all fat from Marvel. That's I figured it out.
Just put your name over it, George.
Yeah, I know. Maybe I can Photoshop my mouth just like wide open with pancakes. I can't do that. But if I was that good at Photoshop, that's it.
Do it South Park style, like when they put in like
just cut my head in half and just like have my head split.
Yeah, cut your mouth down.
Okay. Well, yeah, I think we can keep going on about this forever. So let's call the episode right there. Thank you everyone who watched this far in the episode. Make sure to come back and watch us next time online when we force feed you more Marvel takes and Comic-Con news. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening, but before you go, please make sure to like and subscribe to our show. And leave a comment with whatever thoughts you may have. We record a new episode of Last Time Online every week, so keep an eye out for the latest episode. From time to time, we stream on Twitch, so if you would like to see how we act while we are gaming, go over to our channel and give us a follow. We are sponsored by Dubby Energy Drink. Dubby gives you the focus so that you can just be better at video games, all while having no jitters or crash. Click on the link in the description for a 10% discount on your orders on us. We love taking feedback from our audience, so if you have a question for us, you and your question could be featured in our next episode. Check links in the description for ways to reach us and also where to follow each of us on social media. See you next time online.